remember that.
Part that is hard to remember. So, hello.
Yeah, I got that. Hi. Yeah, I kept getting the same message, and then I did the same thing and went back to the link and and then I thought, oh, geez, I didn't get the time wrong. I know I didn't.
No, it was just one of those things. But anyway, here I am sitting in my mother's house. So I'm in a different environment right now.
I see those drapes.
Looking after yeah, she likes the vintage bark cloth.
Ah, yes. Nice.
She has a house that was built in 1897 by my great-grandparents.
How about that? Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So yeah, I'm excited about this conversation today.
You froze again. Jeez, we're having some problems.
I had somebody make a comment to things that people are shoving under their beds. And then because, of course, I do feng shui, everything has a meaning and everything has an invisible cord connected to you. So I thought, let's talk about this and let's hopefully get some people come on here and tell us what they have under their beds.
Now, I'm really interested in what you told me about what's going on under your bed and what you did.
Yeah. Well, that was pretty heavy, and it wasn't so much like under my bed, but it was actually on the basement level on the floor underneath my bed. And did I mention anything about it to you, or I just say I had it?
You mentioned, I don't know how much you want to talk, but if you wanted to talk about it, you mentioned that you had some stuff from a previous marriage.
Okay. Yeah. So I have a couple of good stories. So first of all, I'll just say I'm Laurel, the Beautiful Living Coach, and this is John. Introduce yourself.
I'm John Benz. I'm a life coach and author of the book, Do the Clearing.
And there's your book there. And John and I have had a couple of blabs together because we do a similar thing where we take into account your environment and how it's keeping you potentially from your goals that you have for your health, your success in business, for relationships, for everything. And so today we're talking about what's under our beds that could be affecting us. So one of my stories, the story of the item that was directly under my bed, I'd split up from my husband and we've been apart for a long time. I was wanting to have a new relationship. In fact, I was embarking on a new relationship, but it seemed to be really going slow, really non-committal, and just, things weren't really happening the way that I wanted them to. And so one day I'd kind of forgotten about the feng shui thing for a long time. I wasn't paying attention. I was so busy with my job and my kids and being a single mom and all of that stuff that I just kind of let everything in my life slide. And so one day, as I was doing some house cleaning and looking under the bed, I realized that on the side of the bed where my boyfriend was actually sleeping was a whole box of my husband's memorabilia, like all of his family stuff, our wedding, our marriage certificate. Like there was all of this stuff under the bed that was actually keeping him, my old relationship, grounded into my life, and particularly right under the side of the bed where my new partner was sleeping. And it was like, holy cow, like, wow, like, I can't believe that I've got this.
Were there things that your husband had just left at your place, or?
You know what? I don't even know if I tucked it under there. Like, it was a really beautiful box. So it looked, I don't know if you've ever seen these, but it looks like a book, looks like a big bound book, but it's actually a wooden box. So it's a keepsake box, and you can lift up the lid and just place keepsakes in there, and you can engrave on the front. And I think I probably put it there just thinking, where am I going to put this? This is whatever, doesn't matter, just get it out of the way. So I think he left it behind in the house, and somehow one of us left it under the bed. I don't even know. But
so it's a special place for mementos.
It's a special.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it was mostly his stuff. He had things from his grandfather, like things that were that were his. It was all of his stuff, but it did also have our marriage certificate in there, which, you know, really isn't the kind of message you want to have in your boudoir. You know, even though you don't consciously know it's there, that's the whole thing about this stuff. It's the energy of it. It's in your environment. And so it is going to, in some form, set that energy that he's still in that house. It's still reinforcing that marriage and the old ties. And so that's part of doing the clearing, like you say, is that you have to go and find all these things that are in your environment.
Yeah, so take me through that. How did you end up looking for this stuff? Did you just think of it one day, or did you happen upon it?
It was under the bed, and I would clean under the bed, and I think I would pull things out, but I just never thought about it. You know, there's so much of the time we're just going through the motions, and we're just doing things, and we're not paying attention. We're not conscious of what's going on. And like I said, I just had kind of gotten away from really thinking about what I was doing. I was just getting through the day.
I know you get so busy doing this stuff with your clients, you forget about yourself. And then things just start to blend into your environment too.
Yeah, at that point I was doing different work. I was working as like a manager in a decorating store, and just doing different roles and not really thinking about my environment. So thank goodness I finally looked at that box and thought, oh yeah, what's in that box? You know, I just kept moving it around, cleaning around it. And it was just really, and that's the thing, when you open your eyes to something, and then now you can start changing it. So if it's there, you're not thinking about it. But I became aware, okay, well, I do want to have this relationship. I am keeping this thing under my bed that's keeping me in my old relationship. I got to move it out and make a conscious choice to start working more towards having my new relationship.
So tell me.
So it works.
Tell me what you end up doing with everything in your box.
I just put it down in the basement and waited for him to come and take it. But even at that, you know, we've talked about basements before. It doesn't matter. Just having things in your environment will still, let's turn this volume off. They still impact you. You need to get them out of your house completely, as you know. You can't just shove things in the basement. But I didn't really know where else to put it. So
you gave it
until he's got it now. He's got his box of.
You gave him a call, huh? Do you guys get along now?
Oh, we get along great. And that's the thing, is he has been living out of the country. So normally he would be gone for 11 months of the year, and he would come back and spend like a month with myself and our daughters. So, you know, nice little happy family, just spending time together for 1 month of the year. So he wasn't really around. He was kind of like out of sight, out of mind, right? So I just didn't really think about it. But yeah, we have a great friendship, a great relationship. I think we're so fortunate to have that. And maybe that's why I thought, oh, that's whatever it is. Maybe it's not that important. We're good friends. It doesn't really matter. It's not important. You know, there's all kinds of excuses we can give ourselves for why we have things there. And we can tell ourselves, oh no, I know better. Oh no, I know what it means. It's not going to bother me. But it's not about your conscious mind. It's about the unconscious.
So were you noticing a direct relationship with those feelings and thoughts that were coming from what you had in this box and what's happening now in your present relationship?
Yeah, well, once I noticed what was there, then I could make the relationship to how it was affecting my current situation with my partner, you know, and how it wasn't really feeling that committed. You know, neither of us were really letting ourselves go into that relationship. There was things holding us back. And I'm quite sure that keeping my marriage certificate and all my husband's personal effects, you know, memorabilia under my bed was definitely keeping him in the house, keeping him on the scene, so to speak.
How long were you guys married?
Oh, well, let's see. It's so funny how you start to forget. Like 13 years? Yeah.
So that's a long time. And, a lot of people keep a lot of different things from a relationship, and they're not really sure when's a good time to let go. Do I even let go of these things? This was a long period of my life. I've had children with this person. Some part of me says keep this. Why is some part of me saying keep this, stuff it under the bed, put it here in the basement? I'm gonna need it someday. Some part of us is saying keep this. Why? Where is that coming from? What do you think?
Yeah, I know, because we're sentimental.
Yeah.
We're sentimental, and we often want to hang on to some aspect of that old relationship. And in fact, seeing as you mentioned that, I recently got an email from a client that I was working with, and I had made a comment about another story that I'll share with you. And she emailed me to tell me that she had broken up with the love of her life 20 years ago. She had ended that relationship, but she was still hanging on to all of the letters.
Yeah.
And she had realized that she had all these letters, and she was in a new marriage now, and she was feeling a lot of guilt because she was keeping those letters under her bed. And that's really what really sparked me. Okay, we have to have this conversation, because why were you hanging on to these things? You don't want to be with that person anymore, even though you think he was the love of your life. It's been 20 years, but we have like this beautiful memory of whatever it was for that short amount of time until it all went downhill, and then you didn't want to be with that person anymore. But for some reason we hang on to that fantasy, and it's hard to let it go. But you can't move forward fully into a new relationship until you leave most of those things, have a burning ceremony and get rid of those letters. But you're right, there are certain things. We had children together. There's certain things that you want to keep. I want to start a relationship with my husband, my ex-husband, but I don't need to have love letters or a marriage certificate in the house. So I think it's really identifying what those items mean to you. Obviously, you're not going to get rid of your kids when you break up with somebody, because they remind you of your ex. You're going to keep them.
Well, I think you mentioned something that's really common, is that you've got these letters from this relationship, and your first reaction is, there was a good time there. My first reaction is like a happy thought, and then the rest starts to creep in. And then I say, I ask you, how do you feel now? What's that feeling now? Is that a powerful feeling? Is that setting you up for your future? Is that setting up for how you want to feel in your next relationship? Is that how you want to feel going forward? It's what's that dominant feeling coming from? Initially, a lot of our possessions are like, oh yeah, and then, oh, that happened, and that happened, and that happened. And there the truth starts to come in. And what's it really telling you about yourself? How were you during that time of your relationship? Well, we're all growing up as we're having our relationships. And sometimes, at certain points in our life, we're not really, we're having growing pains. So before we become these ultimate super cool people we are right now, we stumbled. Do we want to keep ourselves in that stumble and that thought of ourselves with that stumble, or say, I learned something from that, and maybe it's time to move on, and I'm becoming this new person, and maybe I don't need to be constantly reminded of those mistakes and thinking of myself in that way. Maybe I could free myself, give myself some room to start thinking of myself in a new way. There's nothing really to hold on to there but some paper and some writing. There's people, there's new experiences, there's a whole new way of feeling over here. So you got to decide what's important. And an easier way to do that is to grab that possession, look at it, think about it. Okay, there's my first feeling. There's my first thought. Okay, now what's coming? Okay, ultimately, how is this making me feel? Do I need this 70% bad and 30% good? Nah, maybe I don't need any of that, because I got this coming now. So set yourself up for what's coming now. And I think you'll find that it might make life a little easier.
Yes, exactly. And that's why I think my mission is to bring awareness so that people take a look at what's in their environment or what's under their bed. And like for me, I looked at that box of my ex-husband's stuff for a long time and didn't think about it. I didn't think about what it was. I didn't think about how it was impacting me. And so it's really important to take a look at what it is. And like you said, what's the feeling I get from that? And yeah, is this worth having in my environment? And so I think it's, oh, we got some new people on here. I think it's so interesting. And so my other story that I would like to share with you, and this is a little heavier, but I think it's a good one.
We can handle it.
And it's a good message. Yeah, I think you can handle it. So got rid of the marriage certificate from under my bed and all of that stuff. And my relationship has been pressing and it's been really great. And my boyfriend has now moved in with me and with his son. But I've always been having these triggers that take me back to situations with my dad and my brother, with having him and his boy. And so I've been reacting a lot and working through a whole bunch of things that have to do with my dad and my upbringing. And it was kind of getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And I was having to have more and more like kind of visible outbursts about this stuff, how it was just triggering me. And I knew this was a good thing. This was stuff I needed to work on, but it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And then one day I had this friend come over, and she's an intuitive and she reads cards, you know, like tarot cards, but not tarot cards. And so she was reading these cards for me, and she was saying, you know, you have to change your situation. Like this isn't working. Whatever's going on here, you need to do something. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'm going to have to like talk to these guys, or I'm going to have to get some therapy. I don't know what I was going to do, but something had to change. And she said, what's in your basement? And I thought, well, I had like teenagers down there for the last 4 years. I barely wanted to go down there. There was like teenager residue down there, but I just cleaned it out. I should be okay. And but I thought, well, I don't know, maybe it's just like leftover teenager stuff. And so she left, and I think I had a huge kind of reaction even that night too to these guys. They were driving me crazy. And I woke up really, really early in the morning that morning after this question about what's in your basement. And I remembered that I had my dad's remains in the house, and they had recently been moved from like over by the garage to right under my bedroom. And it was so, when I realized it's because that's energy, right? And no wonder these triggers and these emotions were getting stronger and stronger and stronger. So I had to kick my dad out. I had to put him out in the shed. But there's a lot of people that are keeping their loved ones' remains in the house, and it's not always good energy to have in your house. And what a difference, just recognizing that and then removing that to a different space. There's a reason why we put these remains in other areas, in cemeteries, or sprinkle them in where somebody favorite place or whatever. We don't need them in our house. It's very, very strong and a very different energy. So that was the other thing that really has had a profound impact on me moving to the next level of not being triggered by certain behaviors and having that awareness.
Right. There's a reason people stopped having the family burial plot in the backyard, because no one wanted to look out the window, at the family picnic and see everybody who used to be at the old family picnics. I'm sure it was more for sanitary reasons and regulation, but you could see why. Hey, let's move that over and we visit, and instead of having daily life right. Instead of them being such a prominent part. When I go, I don't want everyone staring at my headstone every morning when they wake up to have their morning coffee. So, you got to understand how that could, affect your day when you start off like that every day. That your story reminds me of a radio show I listen to here you've probably heard of the Howard Stern Show. Robin Quivers is one of the, she does the news for the show. And she talks about her relationships, and she hasn't had a very good relationship in a long time. She had a long relationship, and then she had this huge, 10-year dry spell. And she starts to talk about what she had in her bedroom, and she has the ashes of her dead cat on the headboard of her, I guess there's a shelving level up there. So next to her bed are the ashes where the man would be. She has the ashes of her dead cat, her beloved dead cat.
Yeah.
I would suggest that's not the best place for it.
Absolutely. I would suggest the same thing. Yeah, I think it's pretty surprising what people just don't even think about when they place things in their home, or anywhere in their home, including under your bed, and especially under your bed, because people, you spend like 8 solid hours at least, right, in your bed every day. So feeling that energy, but you think it's a hiding place. So a lot of people just shove stuff under there to get rid of it. Things that they really don't want in their lives often get shoved under the bed.
And the bedroom itself, bedroom is very important. Until you open your eyes in the morning, you're in dreamland, okay? But the first thing you do in the morning is you open your eyes, and it takes a little second to realize who I am, where I am, what's going on, what is my life. You open your eyes and your bedroom tells you, boom, it's all there. And I talk about in my book a woman who kept her treadmill in her bedroom, so she'd wake up every morning and she'd see that treadmill she wasn't using. So she was starting out her day with, I don't finish things I start. I don't stick to stuff. She was giving her these messages instead of starting, a powerful day. This is going to be a good day. No, I'm a failure. I'm overweight. I don't stick to stuff. It's important. If you're not thinking about it, start looking around your bedroom. What's my identity? What am I reinforcing? When I open my eyes in the morning, is it, wow, I got a great life. This is going to be a good day. I'm going to go and do it. Or is it, my cat died. I got a failed marriage under my bed, and that didn't work out too well. And, all these things, there's that treadmill. I'm probably going to gain some more weight today. Let me just go out and have a big cinnamon roll. So these things, they're affecting you.
What we do in Feng Shui, we talk about having a restful and rejuvenating bedroom. And some people live in small spaces. Are you writing that?
That's me.
Some people live in small spaces, and they have to have their fitness equipment or their home office in their bedroom. And that's where we would recommend cover it, because maybe you don't wake up in the morning and see that fitness machine and think, oh, I never use that thing. Maybe you wake up in the morning and think, oh my God, I better get to work. Maybe it's stressing you out right away that you have to start exercising, or I better get to work. There's my computer. And so it's, different things for different people.
Exactly.
And it's never a good message in the bedroom when you first wake up in the morning. I think you're absolutely right. You should wake up and feel like joy and gratitude to be alive, and not guilt and shame because you didn't use that treadmill again.
And for people who have a lot of projects laying around, and a lot of times they can make it into the bedroom because you're after work, you're working on a project, you want to get some things done before you go to bed, and you're leaving unfinished projects around your bedroom. And then you're wondering why you're not getting a good night's sleep, or you're having trouble sleeping, or it's not a very restful sleep. Because that feeling is still there, and it's the last feeling you're having before you go to bed, right? You're reading a scary book before you go to bed, right before those thoughts and feelings you're having right before you go into sleep, you're going to take them right in. So these are important, just like you're starting the day, opening your eyes, and this is what's influencing you for the rest of your day. Before you go to sleep at night, what's influencing you as you go into your dream world? Is it a bunch of unfinished projects? That's gonna, there's gonna be a relationship. Look, and you'll see. Look at your own life. Try to think. Well, what am I doing that last half an hour before I go to bed? Am I watching CSI and they're looking at a decomposed body every night right before I go to bed, or am I watching something happy? What's going on? Because that's gonna go in there.
You know what? I think that's why a lot of people recommend a gratitude journal at the end of the day before bed. Because if you spend some time, and that's what I like to recommend and do, if you spend some time before you go to sleep focusing on all the great, at least 3 awesome things in your life that you're grateful for today, you go to bed with such a different feeling and a different mindset, and you wake up differently. Then, like you say, if you watch CSI before bed and you're watching like crime and morgues and whatever, it's so powerful.
That gratitude journal is an excellent suggestion. Everybody listen to Laurel on that. And especially the guys out there who are thinking, that's not me, a gratitude journal. Anything with a journal isn't me. It is. Take a second, take a little Post-it note and write down 3 things that went well during the day. It is really going to change the way you're feeling. It takes 15 seconds. It really takes a real short time to just think of 3 things. I had a great lunch, so I had a call with this. My team won. Boom. Oh, let those feelings come in. It's so important. If good things happen during your day, we'll get the most out of those. We start to focus on it's always like one problem. Okay, finish that one. I'm on to the next. Get this problem, work it out. Okay, now what's the new? But you got a problem, bring it in here. I'm taking care of problems. Problems, next problem, next problem. No. What went well during that day? Because that's going to help you work out those problems. That's going to help you sleep. That's going to help you the next day. That gratitude journal is an excellent idea. Everyone out there, give it a go.
It's so good, but it's really hard, and some people find it really difficult to think of. Like it's a little bit of a habit to get into, because often we overthink it to be some giant thing. I'm grateful for, I want to help with world peace, whatever. I don't know, like some huge thing, but it could be, even if it was a bad day, maybe you were grateful that your tea was hot at lunch. Yeah. Or, you can really just make it so easy. It's just like, as long as you're focusing on something, even if it's that little, I'm grateful that I have a toilet and I don't have to use an outhouse, or it doesn't matter. It's just taking you into that really positive place. And then as you get more used to thinking of what you're grateful for, it just becomes easier. But it is an interestingly hard thing to do at first.
I'm even like
even for me.
Go ahead, you said that. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, when I started doing my gratitude journal, I had to think about it for a while. Like, oh, what am I grateful for? Like it seemed hard at first, oddly, but it can be. So don't overthink it.
We do have a culture where we're encouraged to talk about our problems and to get to the bottom of our problems, and that's great. But at the same time, we got to have that focus on what's going right in our lives, because it perpetuates. And thinking about gratitude and stuff, new stuff comes in and we get used to it real fast. Real fast. And I'm thinking about my iPhone, and every once in a while it takes some time, like, I don't know how often, but I'm like, oh my gosh, it's really great. What I can do on my phone is incredible. Yeah. It's really great, but you get so used to it, like, it took a half a second to do that. You start like,
no, I know.
You're like, well, remember when we didn't have this? It was crazy. But now I'm just like, every once in a while I'm really grateful for what I can do with electronics, even though I get frustrated by software and software updates like everybody else. But I stop myself and say, wow, it's still a million times faster than how I used to do things.
That's something that always amazes me too, because I see people just dropping their phones all the time. Like kids, especially, because they've grown up with them in their hands, and they don't understand. Speaking of gratitude, like, this is like a computer. This is an amazing thing. So yeah, it's an awesome thing to be grateful for, because we can do so much on these little devices. And I see there's a couple people on the line. I'm wondering if anybody wants to come in and tell us what they have under their bed. I hope so. I would love to know what's under your bed, John. In the meantime, hopefully someone will come in.
Absolutely.
Do you store anything there?
Absolutely nothing.
Oh, good.
I make that a habit of not keeping anything under there, and I do.
Oh, Jen Woodsmith has stacks of flooring.
Stacks of flooring.
Sounds exhausting.
In boxes.
Because that's like you've got a work project under your bed. But I will say though, if you have it like nice and organized, and if it's in boxes, then that makes it a lot nicer. And at the same time, it could be a really lovely thing because you're going to have this beautiful new floor. And so
yeah, Jen,
everything doesn't always have to be bad. Bringing the awareness and then putting that good message on it can be great. Yeah. Box of flooring sounds like a beautiful floor.
Yeah, if this is an exciting thing for you and you've been looking forward to this and you got great plans and it's happening, then generally keeping stuff under the bed, according to feng shui principles, I know they want you to keep that clear. But if it's giving you the right kind of feelings, I say fine. If you're feeling like, another weekend went by and I didn't get to it, then, or you're having some type of sleep disturbance, you're not getting good sleep, then you'd want to, I'd say, clear that stuff out of there, and then put a date on your calendar and do something different and get determined to finish your project. But if things are going really well,
that's a good point. That's a really good point. Yeah, because a lot of times we have to store things under our beds because we live in small spaces. That's what it makes me feel like I need it installed. Yeah, because you're getting drained probably, Jen. And so that's where it will start affecting your sleep and that sort of thing. Yeah, if you have a date booked and it's there and it's fine, it's temporary, but if it's like, when is this ever going to happen? Yeah. Like, that's the feeling you have every time you go in your bed. Yeah,
whip that stuff out of there when you get home, Jen. Put it in the garage or put it in...
she doesn't, but she will now. Oh, sorry, Jen. No, cancel that thought. You can change it. You can just say, I'm going to schedule a day and get this done, and just know that it's going to happen and put that positive spin on it.
See yourself finish. See the floor in your mind exactly the way you want it. Close your eyes, take a second, see the floor and the project finished. That's really going to help you finish that project. See it done. See yourself doing other stuff that you got done. And then think of that project. And before you know it, you'll have it done. Do that once a day until you have that date where you're going to do it. And you're going to find that you're going to get it done. That's a communication you're sending to yourself, to your unconscious mind. Put things in place. Write on the calendar, do all these things to get this done. And those messages will start getting across, and you'll have your new floor, and you'll be like, oh, thank you, John and Laurel. You two are truly wonderful.
And she's been visualizing it. Oh, good. Yeah, good. You're going to set an end date. So I'm so glad that you came on here and that we could inspire you to do that. And that's our intention always, is to inspire people to take a look at what's in their environment. And on that note, before you don't go too far, I do have a gift on my website. That's the 10 things you can do in 10 minutes that can transform your life. So simple things like cleaning under your bed, although that's not one of them. But so that's at thebeautifullivingcoach.com. I'll put that here.
Is that free? It's free on your site?
I can't type and talk at the same time.
Is that free on your site, Laurel?
Yeah, it's a free gift. And I'm excited. It's a free PDF.
Great.
I'm trying to figure out how to spell. My brand new website's going live, I think, today.
All right.
I'm so excited about it. It's taken like a year. And so hopefully anybody goes to my website will see my beautiful new website. But
thebeautifullivingcoach.com.
You have a new website and a freebie too.
Yes, if anyone wants to go to johnbenz.com, you can get the first 10 chapters of my book. There's actually a couple of different techniques that I have PDFs for. It just depends on what you click on. And they're all for free, and you're welcome to check them out and put them to use. I talk a lot about that visualization I just went over as part of 3 communications that are really good to do every day. Depending on what goal you want to pursue or you want to get a project done, I suggest using these 3 communications. They're really quick and easy, and they focus your unconscious mind and different parts of your brain to getting stuff done and to completing to completing things the best you can. So check it out at johnbenz.com.
And you're going to write that in there. Yeah, visualization is so powerful as well, because that's how your subconscious sees things, is in images. And so it's so like I said, a powerful tool. Very important. Gratitude and visualization.
Really,
in order to
if you're not feeling good, just think for a second, what am I saying to myself? Because you're going to be saying something that's producing those feelings. If you're not feeling good, what are you picturing in your mind? What have you been thinking about the past hour? What are the images? Are things going right? Are things going wrong? They're going to translate into the feelings you're having. What you're saying to yourself, what you're seeing in your mind, what you're seeing around you. These are the things that influence your state of mind, your feelings. They can get in the way of you getting things done, and they can help you get things done. They can get in the way of you having a good relationship, or they can be part of what makes that relationship really go well. So these are things you can control, but often they're just knee-jerk reactions we're having. We're not controlling our thoughts. We're just letting them go. This, where, that. We're being influenced by that negative news report we saw, or that stuff that's piling up on the left side when we park our car in the garage. That whole wall there is just covered with, what is that stuff? I don't even know anymore, but it's making me feel claustrophobic, but I don't have time to get to that. You know, all these things are going to affect what you're able to get done,
let me
what happens in your life.
Add to that, because what you're saying, when I told you the story earlier about how I was being triggered so much by my partner and his son with this stuff to do with my dad, and then when I had this friend come over to tell me remind me, like, what's in your basement, and I realized it was my dad's remains and the energy from him that was kind of really triggering all that stuff. But the other thing that she said to me was that what's going on with you right now, it's making you sick. And that really made me stand up to attention. And I really took that to heart. And I thought, wow, like, that's crazy. And I realized once that awareness was brought to me that I was constantly throughout the day saying, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of that. In my head. I wasn't saying it out loud, but in my head, like, this would happen. I'm sick of that. I was sick of everything. And I was saying it all day long to myself in my head. And then when she said that to me, whatever this is going on with you is making you sick, I thought, holy, I am making myself sick by saying I'm sick of, I'm sick of, I'm sick of, I'm sick of. And I swear to you, it took me 2 weeks to stop doing it. I still do it sometimes. Oh, I'm sick of that. And then it's, no, don't say that. But it is so powerful, even if you're not saying it out loud, just any little thought that's negative, when you're saying it over and over and over, it will manifest itself into your life. And so Misty loves how powerful I know our minds have the power to do anything you want. Anything you want, you can have it if you set your mind to it and you get yourself into alignment and you're positive and you visualize and you just do all of those tools. You can create it. It's so amazing. Laurel, and you can create good things or bad things.
That's so true. Laurel, you have to use, please use my is what I used to say technique. I was just using this yesterday when I said something negative. You got a little habit at the moment saying, what was it?
Yeah.
I'm sick of. I'm sick.
Yeah.
I'm sick. I'm sick of.
Yeah.
I'm sick of is.
Yeah.
Now next time you catch yourself saying that or something similar, say, oh, I'm sick of is what I used to say. Now I say,
yeah.
I'm really looking forward to this, or I'm really happy about this. Take it and say something extreme and the opposite. And every time that thought comes up or that you catch yourself saying that to yourself, say it. And then instead of saying, don't say that, say, hey, that's what I used to say. And now I say blah, 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 blah. And I guarantee you're going to smile at the end. So don't punish yourself for saying it. That's okay. Say, that's what I used to say.
No. Now I just find it interesting that it still creeps in, but now it's going to be a yay when I do it. But the whole thing is, I just want other people to be aware too of what they're saying or thinking or hiding under their beds. And so I love to share what I'm going through, and gathering tools and fun ways of changing these bad patterns. And that's a great suggestion. I love it.
Yeah, make
fun.
it fun. If you can't, look, those good feelings, that's gold. So it is
gold. It's just like with the gratitude before bed, and turning your bad negative thought into a nugget.
And you're gonna.
I wonder if Misty wants to come on and talk to us, tell us what's under her bed.
Misty, you're welcome to come on.
Yeah, there we go. This is Stephanie, actually.
Oh. Okay.
Oh.
Missy, hi,
Stephanie, come on.
Thanks for coming.
How
on.
are you? Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
We're good. We're looking forward to finding out what's under your bed.
Don't
What's
ask.
there?
Whew, don't ask. But I love that.
Yes, we have to.
I actually, I tend to think positive person and stuff, but I know how quickly my mind can be like, that all of these what if kind of things, and then instantly triggered with the what if thing. But what I was thinking was in December I had an issue with my that was very stressful, and I allowed it to really. I was posting and selfies and the positive queen and posting and then all of a sudden I allowed something to affect me, and I went into a little bit of a funk. I called it. I was in a funk for like a month and a half, and I'm out of that funk now because of a positive situational thing. But my brother's coming back in town in just a few days, and that's very stressful for me. And I'm creating it myself, but I don't want to do that funk thing again. I just can't go there. So of course I had a conversation with someone yesterday. I know I have to set up my boundaries and stuff, but what could you guys recommend to just say no? I can't take on.
I'll say something quick, and then I'll say something just
guilt.
quickly.
I know what's under my bed. The guilt.
Oh yeah.
I'm half Jewish, and my father was Jewish, and my mother's Catholic, and people joke and say, "Oh my God, you must have the guilt."
You've got the guilt under the bed. That's not very restful. That's not a really good thing to have under your bed. Oh, let's clean that out. We need to do a space clearing, some smudging or something to get it out. But quickly, and then I'll let Dawn answer, because I bet. What's that?
I had a acupuncture, cupping, and massage, and I have all these suction things on my back. But she said today would be a good day to perhaps clear. She said, don't have any confrontation today. Just go home and relax. But today could be a good day because maybe I'm open with the whole cupping thing. And so, yes, that's clear.
Yeah. Well, you can.
I definitely make the move for what's going on under your bed.
Even just sweeping under your bed.
I'm sorry,
it's like a ritual. It's you're telling yourself that you're clearing under the bed. Even vacuuming can be a form of clearing the space. Ringing bells. Just go do something. But my one quick thing that I was going to say, when you don't want to accept that kind of behavior, you don't want to allow that in anymore. What I do is I just simply say, I choose not to accept that anymore. And that's it. Instead of worrying about they're doing this, no, I just choose, I don't allow it anymore. I choose not to accept it. Those are my words. That's what I say to myself. Mm-hmm. I'll pass that along to you, and I'll let John tell you what he would do.
Well, you must feel this way because you've had experiences with this person in the past that went a certain way, and you want them to go different now.
I know it's recording, and I hate to put this out, but unfortunately, my brother has chosen, he's just going to get out of jail and be homeless, but he doesn't want to change. He wants to just probably go back on drugs and just have no responsibility. He doesn't want to go live in a sober living, doesn't want to go, get any help. And I feel bad. I feel guilty. I feel horrible, but I can't fix him. And I'm, it's I was going to say I feel broken, but I don't want to say that. Oh, erase.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, you're taking responsibility for him and his behavior.
I'm not.
And
I am.
that's-
I am not. I mean, I'm me, and I have no control. You know, but I don't know.
So it's your tendency to want
What
to take
specifically-
responsibility.
Yeah. Plus, I see my mom, the enabler, and how she puts the like poor, and then I can't hear. You know, it's just
Stephanie, you need to move out.
move out.
If are you living with them?
God, no. I have my own family, and
Oh,
I
good.
have a
Okay.
great life, but I allow.
Oh,
Yeah, no, I have two
I thought maybe they were all coming back into the same house with
I'm
you.
a grown woman. This is my brother who's an adult. You know, it's yeah. So that
Oh, well, thank
So
you.
we're just talking about it. He's coming in for a visit. He's coming to you for a visit,
he's getting
Stephanie?
out of jail, and he's going to be homeless
Okay.
because he has nowhere to go.
Ah.
But he doesn't want to go to a sober living or rehab, or he doesn't want to be, you know, made to hold any rules. He just wants to do whatever he wants to do. So, you know, I have to let go.
He's not taking. You do have to let go because, yeah, you want
I
to
want to
help him,
them,
or
but
you have wanted to help him. He doesn't want help, and you
Yeah.
have to let it go. Yeah, it's so hard. That's so difficult.
you
But
know,
you can
I
do
live
it.
in a beautiful house right near the beach, and how could you have your brother homeless? People like can't understand. How could you allow? But it's not. I mean, what am I going to pay for him to live somewhere? That, you know, who's that helping? Not me.
That doesn't help anybody. He needs to take responsibility for himself. And so if everybody just hands him, you know, a home, a this, or that, I mean, we don't know what road he's going to go back down, but you can't do everything for him. That's pretty true in general. People have to take responsibility for their own lives and their own change. And if he doesn't want to change, it's not your job.
He doesn't. And so I really have to not feel that guilt, you know, or
So you're building yourself up to be strong so that you don't let the judgment of other people make you feel like you should take him in or do something that you don't want to do because other people think that you wouldn't be a nice person if you didn't do that.
well, yes and no.
Well, sort of, you know, it's like loosely, right? I do these things all the time because I think, you know, it might look a certain way or whatever. It's just stressful. It just layers up all this stuff. And then we have to just make ourselves strong somehow. And yeah, make a commitment to yourself that you're not going to, just make your boundaries like the person you were with today said.
Yeah.
Set those boundaries. And
Stephanie, are you? Is your concern that he's going to ask to move in with you?
Oh, well, that wouldn't happen. My husband would never go for that. But no. No, I just, you know, how would you feel if you know, were comfortable and have a good life and everything, and your sibling was struggling? You maybe would feel like terrible, like you wish you could like make them all better, but you can't, you know, you can't like make somebody a good person by just wanting it. You know, it's hard to
No.
Yeah.
No, you can't do that, but you can offer them resources.
I
Always the 12-step program is a really great program, and just pointing someone there when they're coming to you, say, hey, I'd love to have a relationship with you, and I think you're a great guy. And if you stay in a 12-step program, I think things are going to work out for you. You know, you have an approach that makes you feel good and makes you feel a little more powerful.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. I hear you. Yeah, when you have somebody who's so resistant, it makes it really tough. And the only thing you can do is just be strong in yourself and just choose not to accept it. And that's, and you can't have these people out of your life and you can't change them, but you can, just not let it affect you.
This is a common thing. Everyone's family's been affected by alcohol. I find that the adult children of alcoholic meetings are really great. They're great, and you'll learn a lot about the people in your life. if your parents were alcoholics or there's an alcoholic in your family and it's affected you, those adult children of alcoholic group meetings are a revelation. Just go to one and you're like, oh my gosh, that's why this is happening. Or that's why I feel this way. This is why I always feel guilty when my brother's around. Or, you know, you may have some more resources of, well, what can I do in this situation? Because you'll be with a big group of people who are in that same exact situation. And there are things you can do to make yourself feel a little bit better. And it's great having that support of other people. You think you're alone. You think, oh my God, this is so screwy. I don't even understand what's going on. You know, and you go to these meetings and you're like, okay, it's not so screwy. We're all having the same experience, and okay, I feel better. At least like, and then when you start to feel better from these meetings, you can handle those situations when your brother comes around, or your father shows up drunk, or whatever's going on in anybody's life who's listening to this. I think those are great programs.
It's just finding the time.
Make your safe.
Very good. Very good. You know, so funny, instead of going to business networking things, you can actually go to those things and you're actually networking with people. They're finding out what you're doing. It's pretty much business networking. I bet.
It absolutely is. It totally is. And then you're getting people who have a similar path as you are. And I know for myself, I'm kind of in a caregiver circuit right now and networking with other caregivers, and it's still business. So, but it's also supporting each other at the same time.
I like that.
I'll recommend this book to everyone. It's called A Guide for Adult Children of Alcoholics. It's only about 100 pages. It's set up in a Q&A, and boy, you will learn a lot about the people in your life who were always a mystery to you, or why you have the author. The author is Herbert Gravitz with a G and Julie Bowden with a B. B-O-D-E-N.
Gravitz.
A Guide for Adult Children of Alcoholics. It's only 100 pages. It's a real easy read, but I mean, you could read just 10 pages and be like, oh, now I understand, you know, 20% of the people in my life.
My father was an alcoholic.
It's really good.
My father was a violent alcoholic. My father was a violent alcoholic. His mother was an enabler. Oh, God, poor woman. And then my mom's now an enabler, and both my brothers are mean people and anger issues, and and then everybody says,
oh wow,
you are gonna this book is gonna change your life, Stephanie. Go run out and get this book.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, you're gonna love it.
And the support group, that would be so good.
Get it on my Kindle so I can have it right on my phone. Yeah,
I'm typing it in now so everyone can
I wrote it down there.
Just look it up.
Yeah. You know what?
A Guide for Adult Children of Alcoholics.
Everybody says to me, like, how are you so normal? But honestly, I'm not horrible, but I'm not normal. I'm far from normal only because our brains are so powerful. And sometimes I can, you know, spin out at myself. But, you know, at least I feel like I have
that's the other
for me, and I believe in God, and I go to church, you know, so that that is my strength, you know. So, and I know
I find it really interesting how the same parents and the same dynamics growing up can create such different people. Like all the offspring can be so different from each other, and you know, some going down the path of the behavior, the alcoholic and the anger, and then. Yeah, it's amazing how it affects us all so differently. And you've obviously taken a much better
when my kids were small. My son is 24 and my daughter's going to be 17 this week. But when they were little and then they'd be fighting, those childhood memories of like anger started to appear for me too. But I actually went and I worked on it. I did therapy for many years, you know. And like I said, I have I go to church, so I have a faith, you know. So I think those things are important. They do help.
They are. Yeah. Faith, awareness, so that you can deal with it. And so that's a really high consciousness thing that you did to recognize that this was starting to trigger you, and then to go and do something about it. And that's the difference between your brothers. They're not doing anything to change themselves.
I like to drink. I like, so I'm not perfect. I notice things in me. I have to sometimes stop drinking because I like it too much, so I'm not perfect. I've got those things, I've got those, so.
But you've got control. You've got awareness.
Kind of why it's good not to judge people, because for everybody, for thee who could throw the first stone, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing also, if you grow up in a house where your parents are alcoholics or your parents themselves are adult children of alcoholics, you're going to have some anger and some resentment because of what went on, because there's going to be a lot of imperfection happening. Mm-hmm. Now, you want to get past that. You want to be able to forgive your parents for whatever went on. And this book, I think, will really help you have that, because you'll get some understanding. You'll be like, oh, my God, my parents, they had no resources. They really didn't understand what they were doing themselves, because, look, it was a different age 30, 40 years ago. And this book wasn't even written. They were just trying to, make a living and have a life like everybody else without any resources. And, it's totally valid to be angry at situations that happen when you're growing up. But once you get a little understanding of what was really going on with them and how completely confused they were, it's really easy to forgive them for that stuff and to let all that go. And that's really a main goal you should have, is to have that forgiveness. And you'll forgive your brother too.
Do you think your brother would read that book?
Pardon?
Do you think your brothers would read that book?
The Guide for Adult Children, that one? I should get a couple hard copies. I'm gonna get the Kindle version for myself, and I'll probably my mom. I'll give it to
if it's only a book.
I'm gonna give one
that
to my mom,
could be the seed that starts them on their new journey of recovery and hope.
But look, don't be upset if they don't read it.
Yeah.
That's not your responsibility, but it will really help you even forgive them for not reading it, But yeah, it'd be a great resource for them. I recommend it to everybody. I really do.
Oh, that's awesome.
When you think of, what I shared with you, and then you think of our own brains and minds and stuff, and how they say from 0 to 7 is where you learn all your behavior or whatever it is, your subconscious, beliefs. Like, I got a lot of shit I'm working on, boy, money stuff, stuff I'm still working on. Trust me. A lot of
me too.
Hiding under my head.
Constant.
What was that?
Yeah, you'll be doing that for the rest of your life, Stephanie.
No, yeah, I guess.
I think so. I've been really working on my money mindset a lot, and worthiness and those kinds of things. And I think everybody has those issues, and they come up at different times when you're ready to work through them. And it's great work, and it's so rewarding to. But it starts with the awareness, right? So as long as you know.
Do either of you do tapping at all? Tapping, EFT?
I haven't done that yet.
Oh, okay.
I know of it. I just haven't done it.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting.
I don't know why I haven't done it, because I know so many people.
What was that, John? I'm sorry.
What was that, John?
Have you had any success with it?
I definitely know that it works. Yes, I have had success with it, because I teach Zumba. I used to teach belly dancing, now I teach Zumba. And when I first started teaching Zumba about 3.5 years ago, before teaching, I would be so anxious for some reason that I would literally throw up, right? So that's kind of when I discovered tapping, and I would right before my Zumba class, I would literally be tapping, walking around the block and it got me through it. So I know it works. And then I actually went and studied it a little bit. I'm not certified or anything, but I know a little bit about tapping. And I definitely know it works for so many things. It's actually very magical, but it's not always a miracle, because when I was in that funk in December, I was still in the funk a month later, tapping. I survived.
You're tapping all over.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you've inspired me because I've been thinking about it. I know
let me give you
someone
the
close to me that does it. So
website,
I'm going to try it.
Literally, nemofree.com is a founder of tapping, and he gives you free tutorials, and everything is free. He just wants to learn. Yeah.
Wow, awesome.
Great.
Yeah. What was the next
And-
meeting?
Stephanie,
I want
thanks
to
for
share
coming
with
on and
you-
sharing with us.
Yeah. Do you?
I have on my website. I have
You're cutting out, Stephanie, but I'm going to follow you on
I said,
Twitter.
you guys have a regular blab, or you just on here and met here?
We met through
on
Twitter.
actually.
But we schedule some, every couple of weeks we do something together, and just go to Laurel's website or mine, and you can sign up for my newsletter, and I'll keep you informed of whenever we're going to do anything. Mine's johnbenz.com, and Laurel?
I'm thebeautifullivingcoach.com. Thebeautifullivingcoach.com. And so I was going to tell you, I have a free gift on there that's 10 things you can do in 10 minutes that will transform your life. So it's pretty cool. Just some simple things that kind of go along with what we were talking about earlier before you got on the call.
Mm-hmm.
Just about simple shifts you can make in your home to transform your life, like sweeping under your bed. Easy
Yeah,
things. I'm
check
talking
out Laurel
about
Cycler, some real good
Can
stuff
you
there.
put the link up? I don't see it. I did already.
The Beautiful Living Coach. You know what? My brand new website is going live
Okay,
right
you know what?
now, and so I
go
might
on there. I have.
Okay, so I don't know. Okay,
There it is.
the old one or the new one? I wonder. But anyway, you'll see it says 10 things you can do in 10 minutes, something like that. So
Cool.
check it out, and thanks for coming on with us. And I wish you the best with your brother, and sending you lots of love and strength.
Thank you.
And
You can do it,
I
Stephanie.
could.
yeah,
And check out that book.
Yeah, that's great. Great advice. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you guys again.
We'll see you.
Yeah, Wednesdays at 3. Well,
All right, Laurel.
that was awesome. So we'll have to think of another fun thing to talk about another day, and we'll just keep it going.
Sounds good. Hey, hi, Pamela. Sorry we got to you so late.
Is Pamela? Where's
Tune
Pamela?
in.
Oh, is there
I
some?
see her up top there.
Oh, Pamela. Oh, yeah.
Come in next time, Pamela. Check out our websites on the right for some good stuff. Check out my book at Amazon and johnbenz.com, and you can find Laurel at thebeautifullivingcoach.com. Thank you, Laurel. That was great. We'll
Okay,
talk to you
thank
soon.
you. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.